basically, like I said, in order to be killing 75 million animals every day for food, we have to have a culture where everyone votes for that, pays for that, and doesn't question that. We take out our wallet and pay for that. So how does that, what kind of a mentality do we have to have? And this is what we have been injected with this mentality by our culture. And it's not in our best interest. I think the greatest gift we can give to ourselves and to our loved ones and to our culture is to understand these ideas and to be able to question. Remember that, did you see the movie it was called The Matrix? Neo, he gets captured by these government agents, and they, in order to track him, I guess they inject a bug into him or something. And then his friends get it out of him. You know, that's one of the first things they do. That's what we're talking about. All of us have been injected with this toxic program of seeing beings merely as things to be eaten and used. It really is far more devastating than we realize. And the greatest gift I think we can give to each other is to help each other get that out of us. Because if we can do that as individuals, we can create a culture that is at a whole much higher level in terms of our wisdom, our ability to live sustainably with freedom and joy and compassion. Because the basic mentality is injected into us by the food rituals that we're obliged to engage in just growing up here is, number one, it's a mentality of reductionism. The subtext of every meal, what's basically being taught in a meal ritual is certain beings are not beings. Certain beings are merely things. They're commodities you buy and sell. When you're eating bacon, for example, we're eating pigs. We don't think of it, we're eating pigs. We're just eating bacon. We're just eating, pork bellies are sold as commodities, like you sell, whatever, rocks and machines. We don't see a pig as a being with interests, with wisdom, with emotions, who loves her babies and wants the best for them and wants to care for them and lives in a community with other animals of the same species and have complex social relationships and so forth. We just see a piece of meat by being raised in a culture where we're forced to see a being as a thing, merely a thing. So that's the foundation. It's reductionism and commodification of life. It's also essentially a mentality of exclusion. We practice every day just excluding. I don't care about them. They're just things. We're good at this. There's an old German saying, Übung macht den Meister. That means practice makes the master. Another very important thing I think to understand is that it's also essentially a mentality of elitism and privilege. The subtext of every meal is certain beings are inherently superior, other beings are inherently inferior. Those who are superior use, exploit, dominate, and control however they want the inferior beings. And the way that is enacted is through eating them, eating their flesh, eating their secretions, dominating, humiliating, destroying them. They're stealing from them in every possible way, stealing their purposes, stealing their babies, stealing their time, stealing their life, stealing everything. They have nothing. We steal everything. We are the powerful ones. They have nothing. This is what we're taught at a very deep level. Sociologists say that the biggest problem in our culture, and I think this is obvious, is this massive inequity. We have some people that are so rich they don't know what to do with all their money. Other people can't even get enough to eat. And yet every meal is reinforcing inequity, inequality, privilege, and elitism. That's the fundamental teaching. How can we expect as a culture to evolve to the point where we actually create the possibility for peace and freedom and justice and equality when every meal, and meals are our most powerful connection with nature, with our culture, with the universe, is the opposite of that?